So a Republican congressman is moving to send a big FU to squad member Rashida Tlaib and other people, while people my age are out here showing their true ignorance. Folks, this is The Brink. So, not sure if you have all seen this photo outside of Rashida Tlaib's door in Congress. If not, let me pull that up really quickly. So, on the left side, you can see the Palestinian flag. On the right side, you can see the Pride flag. There are two other flags in between. No sign of the American flag in there, unfortunately. So, Republican Representative Max Miller decided that in the halls of Congress of the United States of America, that should not be allowed. So, Miller introduced a measure that would ban any flag besides the American flag from Congress on taxpayer dimes. Now, Miller said, quote, "The halls of Congress belong to America." And I couldn't agree more. I think for so long, our politicians have forgotten who they're beholden to. They're beholden to America and the interests of Americans. So kudos to Miller on this. I think it's high time for some intense patriotism displayed by our leaders themselves. Speaking of kudos, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but AOC is right about something. So we just spoke about this a few days ago, but just a refresher, the Democratic Socialists, they promoted a protest in Times Square on Sunday, which supported Free Palestine just hours after Jews were slaughtered, hundreds of Jews. And just to jog your memory, you know, we saw a woman in a hijab who was mocking, crying Jews before spitting. We saw a man allegedly holding up a swastika, and we heard the general chants for ethnic genocide. Now AOC, who has had backing from the DSA, she said, quote, "It should not be hard to shut down hatred and anti-Semitism where we see it." And she's right. Even though it took her a few days, she is still right. She also went on to call out something that I think has been conflated by so many people who believe in a two-state solution. Okay, so she said that there are people who are, quote, "capable of rejecting both Hamas's horrifying attacks against innocent civilians," end quote, as well as the fight of the Palestinians. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you I agree with the fight of the Palestinians, but I think that's what so many people don't understand. You can support a two-state solution, okay? Not a two-state solution that prefaces itself on from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free or decolonization, because that is code for genocide, okay? But I do believe that there are people on both sides, on the Israeli side and on the Palestinian side, who do want quite literally two states. But Hamas is a terrorist organization. They don't want two states, okay? They want to eradicate Jews. So when we see this show of, support for Palestine on Sunday to protest Israel after Israel was surprise attacked, that is completely wrong. And I can't say that I'm surprised about what these younger people believe, because I was reading a shocking poll this week by YouGov, and when I say shocking, I mean shocking. I did not think people my age could be this freaking stupid. So just before we start with that, I want you to have a listen to what this Hamas official says. He tries to claim that it is Israeli propaganda to believe that Hamas has killed innocent civilians. Have a listen.
Are you saying that civilians have not died?
We didn't kill any civilians. It depends on
what about the 260 bodies? What about the 260 bodies at the music festival? Do you realise how absurd that sounds?
Now, within the operation, I cannot confirm this Israeli propaganda, because we have also news and videos showing that Israel and what Israel is today doing inside Gaza, based on the so-called Hannibal doctrine, to kill thousands of Palestinians, including the hostages. And this is an adopted doctrine by the Israeli army.
Hang on. Israel is just sorry to interrupt you, but Israel says more than 700 civilians have been killed. They have been appearing at hospitals, in morgues. The Israeli military have released pictures of some of the 260 bodies at a music festival. Are you really expecting us to believe that you have not killed civilians?
No, we don't have killed any civilians.
Now, this YouGov poll, it asked the people, it said, do you believe that Hamas is deliberately striking Israeli civilian areas? Which we literally know to be true, okay? We have seen the horrific videos. We know that more than 200 bodies were found at a music festival for peace. Holocaust survivors, innocent civilians, kidnapped, grandmother shot in their bed and having it live streamed. But only 32% of people between the ages of 18 and 29 agree that Hamas is deliberately attacking innocent civilians. That means that 68% of people in that age group believe what this Hamas leader said. You have to be a special kind of stupid to believe the leader of a terrorist organization. And why is that so scary? Because again, These kids are believing propaganda from a terrorist organization that is intent on wiping out the Jewish population. They don't like Jews. Jewish people. You know what it reminds me of? Hitler's Youth. In fact, just listen to some of the stuff that we have heard outside the Sydney Opera House. This is not just in Palestine, Israel, the United States. This is worldwide. We're seeing these, protests in support of Palestine come out. When you see these kinds of protests come out, they are supporting an ethnic genocide. These people have one goal, that is to eradicate the Jews. Why is that so hard to understand? And for those who do understand that, why is that not bothersome? And look, I know so many Americans, we don't want more foreign entanglements. I'm with you on this. But that was also our position in the late 1930s. And you know what happened? 6 million plus Jews were systemically killed, my family included. So I urge people to take a moment and realize that you can want more isolationist policies. You cannot want the United States being dragged into war. I understand that. I feel the same way. But there has to be some type of exceptions for grave injustice. I'm not over here saying the United States should put boots on the ground, but I'm saying you can't just rule out helping Israel should the time, God forbid, come. And I think a lot of people feel weird because a lot of people, myself included, I don't believe in giving more aid to Ukraine. There is a difference between Ukraine and Israel. We have people in Israel being wiped out because they're Jewish, because of their faith. We saw this happen less than 100 years ago. And like I said, 6 million plus people dead because they're Jewish. Do you know how many Jews are left in the world? I think I read something that said there's like 16 million Jews in the entire world. 16 million. New York State has a bigger population of just New Yorkers. Okay? So no, we can't just sit idly by because we don't want to get involved in a war if that means that the remaining 16 million Jews are going to be wiped out. That is unacceptable. And you can call me a neocon or whatever you want. But yeah, there's nothing neocon about wanting to save 16 million people. Sorry. And I think for so many conservatives, at least, we have seen all the money we have given to Ukraine. And I'm with you. No more funding to Ukraine. But there are differences between Ukraine and Israel. There is a time and place to step up and say we're going to help, and there's a time and place to step back and say we've helped enough, we're not going to do more. We've hit that mark with Ukraine. We have not yet hit that mark with Israel. And I really would urge people to remember, and I just said it, but in the 1930s, FDR, we had isolationist policies. We had rabbis begging for help from FDR, telling us what was going on in Germany and the surrounding countries. And we sat by. We sat by and let people get gassed, people get shot, people be starved, people be used for human experiments. And only do we look back now and we say never forget and never again. Never again, really? Because it looks like if we sit back and we keep saying, oh, well, we don't want any more foreign entanglements, it will be again. It will happen again. There is a time and a place to step up for grave injustice. That time is now.